Okay, Datuk yang berbahagia, Datuk Presiden, um, Registrar, pengurusi majlis dan para hadirin sekalian yang dihormati. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat pagi. Okay, paper presentation ni relax saja sebab is on education. Most of you are no more students kan? Alright? Most of you are no more students, so it's more on how we maintain the standards of education in this country. Okay. Okay. The architectural graduates in this country, okay, is to be from accredited program in accredited university with 5 years full-time study. This is in line with the Union of International Architects policy, where you need to have 5 years full-time study. So we advocate that principles. And this recognition is determined by the Council of Accreditation of Education Malaysia, or in short CAEM, set by the Board of Architects Malaysia. And these powers is given by the MQA, the Malaysian Quality Accreditation, to the Board of Architects. Some education, they go straight to MQA, but for professional professions, they are given to the board itself. Okay, we have a manual of accreditation of architectural program. It was published since 2013. When we accredit, we base on this manual. Okay, and in this manual, just read a bit. Anything that contains the word architecture will be under the ambit of the Board of Architects. Okay, so any program that has the word architecture will have to be under the regulated by the board. And this accreditation is on application. We don't simply accredit any institution if they do not apply, and they cannot run a program without the approval of the board. Okay, it will be an illegal institution. Okay, because architecture education is big business actually. I think most institutions, private ones, they collect about 100,000, I think, for a semester. Okay, so and if the institution runs more than one program of study in architecture and wishes the program to be accredited, institution is required to apply for the accreditation of each of the programs separately. And if it wishes to run at a different location or mode, that the institution is required to apply for separate accreditation of that program. So, and this accreditation will only last for 5 years, and the board will go and inspect and accredit back the institution. We found out sometimes the institution, after being accredited, they slide, okay? And we need to, and we are the body that goes and inspect and ensure that they maintain the standards. Okay, and then and in event that they do not meet the requirement, we just give them a conditional accreditation, and within that period, they will have to have corrective measures to ensure that they will follow the policy and maintain the standard of education in that program. And of course, we will ensure that the education, we will go through the curriculum, the learning outcome of the institution to ensure that they follow the rules and regulations set up by the council. Okay, and the minimum credit of an academic program in architecture from last time till now is 180 credits, and distribution is as follows. For LAM Part 1, a minimum of 120 credits, and LAM Part 2, a minimum of 60 credits. And the allocation of credits shall be the following proportion. The architectural core courses must be a minimum of 70%. Okay, and architecture-related studies can be 10 to 15%, and the others can be 15 to 20%. And we ensure that there must be compulsory practical training, which is they go and work in an architectural office. This is to ensure that they have the practical training in between Part 1 and Part 2, that they have the training to ensure that what they apply in theory, they can apply later in the education. Okay, and if that institution change more than 40% of the program content in terms of location and mode of delivery and name and duration of the award, they must reapply back or get the approval from the board, and get the approval from the board. Okay, and we impose lecturer to student ratio for Part 1 program is minimum 1 lecturer to 15 students. Okay, Part 1, as you know, is the first 3 years. Okay, and for lecturer to student ratio for Part 2 program, which is now leading to masters, is a minimum of 1 lecturer to 10 students. So we want to ensure that the student receive proper attention from the lecturers. Okay, and LAM will also get feedback in separate meetings during the accreditation process with the head of department, the lecturers, and the students. In this session, normally, this is where the students they have a session with the panel without the presence of the lecturers or head of the department. This is when they voice out the grouses, if there is any, towards on the university's facilities, because they paid a lot. Okay, they could have paid maybe 200,000 for the whole course, and they deserve a proper training, and they deserve, and to get, we want to ensure that the students get a proper architectural education. So there are some instances where when we go for accreditation process, we found that there are a lot of shortcomings in the program or the university in not providing the facilities that they advertise but did not fulfill. Okay, and we will normally caution the university. Okay, we give a written cautionary written report to them and give them a time frame to comply, to make sure that they provide those facilities. Okay, some of you may not know, but we impose also dedicated workspace for each student in the studio, which is allocation about 2.5 square meters per student. And inability to provide this requirement, the institution has to substantiate with evidence showing occurrence of sharing and peer learning. Apart from dedicated studio space, institutions should also provide spaces for presentation and exhibition of student works. You need this space for exhibition because there will be panel of assessors to come every year, or every time they have submission of drawings or design they need to present. So this is normally the architects. Normally architects will have to do that. They will be future architects who normally does presentation. So this is what they must provide. Okay, then also related facilities such as laboratories, model making workshop, building technology workshop, repository of student works. It can be digital or it can be uh, physical, and information and data exchange of new technologies to support effective learning environment. And the program must have adequate access to institutional support and financial resources to ensure the ongoing viability of the program. We will also, when PAM goes for the accreditation visit, we will ask what are the financial access that they have, because we want to ensure that what for architectural studies program, they need to have all these facilities, and they are welcome to bid to the top management to get all these facilities. They cannot be di anak tirikan, okay? All right. Okay, the program, the third architecture core courses just now, they must run a program that has these aspects, major aspects which relate to the practice of the profession, which are design, architectural design, civic urban planning, landscape and theory of design, and technology, environment, building material, construction, building services, environmental studies, structures, cultural content, history and theory of architecture, human science, philosophy, communication. This is where whether digital, BIM, or whatever is taught under drafting. Although it's mentioned drafting, it could be digital drafting, project report writing, and most important also management practice and law, how to be ethical, um, and running of business, project management, professional practice, and specifications. Okay, this policy after 12 years, okay, we have, after 12 years since it was launched in 2012, just now I mentioned, it has been updated, and the latest version will be launched this year, 2025. We're getting a date from the board. Okay, we don't have a big launch or small launch, but to save money, we'll just present to the board. It's been updated, okay, and just to let you know, so the list of accredited universities up to December 2024, local we have 21, and overseas we have validated 21. Okay, we validated since the COVID, we did it online, and soon we can go for physical, and all this information is in our website. Okay, you can scroll and see the list of accredited universities inside there. Okay, all right. We also abide to the Ministry of Higher Education, Jabatan, the Department of Higher Education's policies, where they have experiential learning and competency-based education landscape, and their mantra, real, ideal, care, poise. I think if you Google, you can find it. Okay, and where they identify the challenges and issues, where they find out that skills mismatch and skill gap among university graduates are becoming more apparent in recent years. This is overall, not talking about just architecture. Greater industry role in curriculum design to spur innovation in teaching and learning and ensure the application and relevancy of the subjects taught in tertiary institutions. A demand-driven education model is necessary. It is insufficient to focus on just the hard skills and digital skills. There is a need to cultivate deeply human skills, agility, relationships, and leadership ability to influence and resilience. You know, now the generation, Gen Z generation, they they're very sensitive, okay? So they buckle up very fast. So you need to have this, the way that is being taught now in university, there is a shift towards making them more resilient. Okay, the top 10 skills of 2025 under the JPT is analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategies, complex problem solving, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, originality and initiative, leadership and social influence, technology use, monitoring and control, technology design and programming, resilience, stress tolerance and flexibility, reasoning, problem solving, and ideation. Okay, so I think most universities has been adopting this. They're changing a bit of the curriculum. The curriculum is still the same, but the mode of delivery, uh, they have to change a bit, okay, to suit the present times. Okay, this is just maybe a slide that I did myself just thinking about this. There could be maybe now with the living in the city, okay, maybe time taken for attending class physically, you take about 45 minutes to get ready, you stuck in the jam for 60 minutes, then you attend the class physically, you go back home another 60 minutes in a jam, and 45 minutes for you to, distress, and then go back to your table to do your work or something like that. So that's a total of 210 minutes, 3.5 hours per day lah. So maybe that could, some classes, especially non-design courses, example like subjects, may be taught online, or before it used to be physical 100%, so maybe can be taught online. So you have more time to do the other design courses, you have more time to do to study and be better. Okay. All right, so this is a comparison, attending physical just now and attending online. So you don't have to mobilize, you don't have to be in a traffic jam, you just attend class online, and the rest you just attend class. So you save 3.5 hours per day. Okay, so just a thought, maybe those who are teaching in the universities and who need to upgrade the teaching process may think about it. I think most universities now, after the COVID, okay, with all the digital facilities, with Zoom, Google Meet, all that, I think most universities, even we in our practice, we sometimes don't attend physically, we can do things faster online, okay? But not all can be done online. Some must be physically there, especially studio, design studio. Okay, in the future for this, it's not future, now we've already done it for LAM, okay, in line with the policy of the Jabatan Pendidikan Tinggi, okay, and together with our own initiative, we done a Hala 7 Pendidikan Seni Bina Negara 2030. Okay, and it consists of the working group and consultation representative. There's a working group panel, expert panel, and focus group panel, and most universities are represented here. Okay, I think most of you, some of you here are also part of the panel, and it's still going on, and we still it's still a live document that we're having, and we are monitoring it. So the challenges in education, architectural education, we found out that the built environment, which is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, which warrants resilience and the ability to respond to change. Okay, and then technology advances, artificial intelligence (AI), machine learning, blockchain, Internet of Things, and other advances in the third platform are permeating lives and what is taught in higher education. The speed of change in architecture, knowledge doubling, An exponential rate of innovation requires responsive learning, and the globalization, data, and emerging information technologies are driving globalization. So di Hala Tuju Sinibena Negara, we have a vision, mission, 4 strategy thrust, um, 7 main strategies, and 27 action plan. I won't be going through all this. If this one takes about one whole day, okay, we got only a few minutes. And then this is the roadmap. 2020, since 2022, we started it, and then 2024, and up to 2030, we'll be monitoring it, making sure that the action plan are taken action. Okay, and just to run through the 4 trusts. Empowering a competitive curriculum to face the challenges of globalization and liberalization, improve at the ability of identity attributes, jati diri of the architecture graduates. Normally, we need them to have the nationalistic attributes, okay, towards the country, towards mankind, towards cultural identity, all that, and strengthen the development of academic resources and produce an efficient and professional workforce. We also got to ensure that the lecturers are well trained, because they are the one who's going to ensure that the quality of education and standards are met, and continue the development of sustainable infrastructure to strengthen long-term learning and teaching and learning growth. Facilities are important also. Um, the university need to provide all these facilities to ensure the infrastructure, especially we going digital, the students need to have a good running computer, okay, in the labs. And the 7 main strategies: global class curriculum, balanced and integrative curriculum, innovative and leadership-minded students, nationalism values, selected academic staff and expertise, community and industry collaboration. This is very important, that they engage with the community, and they are also have industry collaboration in many ways. They can be working in the, they can be seconded and working in firms, or those in the industry are always invited to the university to teach. Okay, and innovative and advanced infrastructure, ensuring that all infrastructure are there. You cannot be teaching students when the computer in the labs do not have the capacity. Okay, all right. And so this is among the trusts. So having this type of scenario and this type of facilities is very much we look forward to when we go for accreditation. And also including coping with digital usage like SketchUp, Rhino, all this, ensuring that the students are knowledgeable in this, because later they'll be working for you all, kan? Especially the firms here. If they don't know, I think the the um, the universities haven't done their duty yet. Okay, and then this is just this is interior design. Chris, interior design works using the Rhino just now, all that Revit. The quality of the works that can be generated from all those Rhino, all that, Revit, ArchiCAD, all that. Okay, so now acknowledging the usage of AI tools, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, I said last, Copilot, Create, GenCraft, Runway. DeepSeek, I think my students tried to enter, they said it's not working yet. I think so, for architecture, all right? Seems like the server is not working or something. They tried to enter it. So anyway, what I did was I asked my students, after they have submitted their design, okay, after they submitted, not before, To run an AI generation on that project, okay, AI use was ChatGPT. They prompt cultural market, jetty, timber by the river, terrain, public space. Straight away, this come out. Okay, so in just a few minutes, where else we sometimes we need to do this in like a month or two or something like that. So anyway, this is my student real design rendering using Revit, Enscape, Photoshop. This is about 14 weeks of study lah, but he had to do the floor plans, elevation, all that, and then only this thing comes up. So this is a youth center in Betong Town, Sarawak. Okay, before this he did a design he did a bit, the buildings were quite tall or that. So I did say in Betong normally the buildings are small size or that. So he run the AI generation. He got that, and he said, "Yeah, correct. You're correct. It should be smaller scale buildings." Okay, so this is the comparison. Okay, and this is his own work. It's okay. It's original. It's well thought with all the floor plans, site planning all done, and site solution was and site was he had to analyze the site and come up with the design. And this is another project, also the prompt a jetty for boat access and seamless connectivity to the river, enhancing the maritime experience. So this is from JetGPT. Sekejap aja, think berapa minit aja keluar. And this is my students' work actually, preserving Kedah's waterfront, Sungai Kedah Jetty. So this one laboriously took about 14 weeks to come up with bubble diagram, all that, and coming up with the concept, precedent study, whatever. And this was the result. Okay, the comparison. Okay, so therefore, to achieve aspiration of architecture education, the four trusts empowering competitive curriculum to face the challenges of globalization and liberalization, improve the ability and identity attributes, jati diri of architectural graduates. That's where the ethics come in. Okay. Strengthen the development of academic resources to produce an efficient and professional workforce, and continue the development of sustainable infrastructure to strengthen long-term teaching and learning needs to be strengthened as a core strategy in achieving the target of Hala 7 Pendidikan Seni Bina 2030. Okay, thank you very much.